Depression and anxiety are mental disorders that may be more common than you think. These two mental disorders combined affect 40 million United States Americans each year, not including young adults or children. I myself struggled with both depression and anxiety in high school. Over the course of this speech, I will be explaining what exactly these mental disorders are, how to tell if you have these mental disorders, and about my experience with both depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety are two mental disorders that commonly affect one another. Dr. Craig Sawchuk stated that anxiety may occur as a symptom of clinical depression. It's also common to have depression that is triggered by an anxiety disorder, such as generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or separation anxiety disorder. But what exactly are these mental disorders? The American Psychological Association defines anxiety as an emotion characterized by feeling of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. The Better Health Channel describes depression as a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest, which stops you from doing your normal activities. These mental disorders are not to be taken lightly. While there are treatment options, if left untreated, these disorders can grow over time and cause you to be fully isolated and may even lead to suicidal thoughts and actions. Now that you all have a general idea of what these mental disorders are, let's talk about how you can tell if you have them. As stated by Margaret Wack, anxiety and depression can often take different forms depending on age, gender, socialization, and cultural background, as well as personal differences unique to each individual. In men, anxiety and depression often manifest themselves in anger, irritability, and reckless behavior. Women are more likely to exhibit symptoms of depression, including feelings of worthlessness, guilt, and persistent fatigue. In children and young adults, symptoms can vary from separation anxiety and clinginess to defiant behaviors and trouble in school. For older adults and seniors, depression and anxiety symptoms can include memory loss, substance abuse, and loss of interest in hobbies and activities. A few of the symptoms of both anxiety and depression are excessive worrying, feeling of restlessness or on edge, feeling of worthlessness, excessive guilt, withdrawing from family and friends, reckless behavior, and persistent sadness. It can be hard to fully understand what you could be suffering from if you're unaware of what to look for. If you feel you could be suffering from either of these mental disorders, it is best to go see a doctor who specializes in mental disorders, such as a therapist or a psychiatrist, to narrow down your symptoms and provide proper treatment. Now that you are aware of what you are looking for, I will be sharing my experience with you all. My battle with both depression and anxiety started the summer after my senior year of high school, right after my first relationship ended. I started hanging out with some girls who weren't doing the best things at our age and would participate in those activities with them. Once summer was over and my first semester of college started, I realized I was very unmotivated and began to seclude myself from my friends and even my mom, who I lived with at the time. I started going to therapy, and while I was skeptical at first, I learned to enjoy it, and it was nice having someone to talk to that legally couldn't tell anyone else. Which, in my opinion, is a lot better than telling a friend who could potentially tell other people. My therapist referred me to a psychiatrist who later prescribed me medicine for both anxiety and depression, which helped me alongside my therapy sessions. A few months in, once I was feeling better, I decided to move out of my mom's house and live alone. At first, I was really enjoying being alone and doing my own things, but once the newness of my freedom was gone, I began to feel super lonely. This led me to feel even more secluded than before, since I work from home and live alone, leaving me to be alone most days. To this day, I am still struggling with anxiety, but I am no longer depressed. My medication really helped me, and although I still struggle with anxiety, I no longer deal with the everyday struggle of depression. In conclusion, I recommend anyone who may be struggling with their mental health to reach out to a professional. Now that you have some basic information on both anxiety and depression, such as the symptoms and my firsthand experience, maybe this can help you. Thank you all for listening, and I hope my speech can help someone, even if it is just a fraction of how I was helped.